Our adventurers have come back from heroic battle with a set of goblins who were led by their captain. Our heroes, Nilos, Yor, and Nulk, arrived back into town and took their loot from the goblins and used it to spend on spoils and gaining their personal wealth. We begin now in the town center as everybody meets up.
So the session is officially started. You are in the center of town. You're surrounded by, you have the Red Tavern that is off to your north, and off to your west, you have the blue grouping of housings. And you do notice that one of your party members actually isn't there. It's the bugbear, Nulk.
Yeah, well, to be fair, he's still probably pretty upset about accidentally killing that goblin, so that's understandable.
Anything y'all would you would wish to do before setting out into your first adventure?
No, I think, at least for me and Nilos, we prepared pretty well last session.
Yeah, so also just to let you guys know, we were able to come across a blacksmith shop, as well as an enchanter shop. There's also an apothecary's from what we hear, but we haven't been there just quite yet. So just wanted to let you guys know, just in case you wanted to venture out to one of these shops. They're pretty awesome.
Which building is the Enchanter's building?
The Enchanter would be the purple tower inside the group of houses where you see a wooden scaffolding that actually leads up to the door. And below that, right next to the gate, shop with the anvil and the blue curved house. That one would be the blacksmith.
Okay. And then another question I have. So we have the keep on the right side. It's got the kind of fenced-in wall there. What is the building beneath the church, to the south of the church? That large building.
That's the barracks where we started, correct?
Yes, exactly. Right. That is the barracks for the town, also labeled as their Fighters Guild.
Okay, I thought that's what that was. And then what about the buildings to the collection of buildings to the north of the church?
So those ones are actually just bigger houses and other smaller shops, residential areas.
Okay, excellent. You guys see Braxton kind of walking from the other side, the northern side of town. He approaches you guys. Hey, where'd you guys go? I've been shopping around town, and I just was looking for y'all for a while.
The town was assaulted by a legion of terrifying goblins.
Yes, terrifying is definitely the word to use here.
Okay, I thought I might have heard a scream or two, but pretty perplexed by the interesting display I was looking at.
Well, it must have been quite the interesting display. Really, it was just a money heist.
Okay, did y'all get anything cool?
It was a hat.
There was indeed a hat, and I was able to make a nice pretty penny off it, and I was able to also get a staff by means of barter, of course. And I think that you might like it, so take a look.
Braxton grabs it.
Yeah, it actually has a really nice little gimmick to it. If you just speak the words in Dwarvish, it actually does a little trick, so give it a shot.
I speak Dwarvish, actually. I learned it back in my university.
Okay, yeah, I speak it as well. Not from a university, but all the same.
Okay, we'll have to maybe take it over to the Enchanter's house.
No, actually, I'm fully aware of what it does, if you want to give it a shot.
Oh, okay. What about on that little bottle over there on the side of the road?
Actually, no worries. We won't even need the bottle for this. Let me go ahead and show you its little trick. I can do it right here, right now. So, as I hold my hand up in the air with the rod parallel to the ground, and I shout the incantation in Dwarvish, "Move, ye bastard!" And I let go, and look at that. It's levitating in place.
It actually isn't.
Oh,
you let go of it and it drops.
Well, that's
You
interesting.
might have forgotten what the words were for the incantation.
You know, I think you might be right there.
Nihilus, are you sure this thing's working the way you're supposed to?
Yeah, well, it's definitely not supposed to do that. But I was able to make it work last time. I don't know if I was tricked or something, but it's possible the words just slipped my mind.
You can also make a history check, or Aaron, you can make an investigation check to see if you can find any instructions on the rod.
That's exactly what I was going to do.
Great idea. Yeah, go ahead and take a look at it. Maybe I missed something.
All right, Braxton grabs the staff back pretty excitedly. You could tell he's kind of excited by the anticipation of what the staff could do. Okay,
So make me an investigation check.
Okay, so I need to roll a d20 plus 5 because I've got a plus 5 modifier. There we go. Oh, okay. Well, still got a 14.
14. The good thing is the engravings are actually pretty easy to find. You just rotate the rod around a little bit, and you definitely see the incantation that Nylos was talking about, where it says "Move, ye bastard." And then right below it, you see one, again written in Dwarvish, and it says "Halt, ye bastard."
Ah, yes. Yeah, that's the one. My apologies.
All right. Okay, I see the inscription here on the side of this staff. Let me give it a go here. Braxton looks over at the bottle on the ground. Move, ye bastard!
And you notice that the rod really does nothing in particular special. It acts the same as it normally does.
Halt, ye bastard!
As you say that, and you try to move the staff, you're stopped mid-movement. And if you feel the staff is not moving whatsoever.
You see, now that's what it's supposed to do.
Well, that wasn't expected.
Do you wish to let go, look at the staff? How does your character react?
He's looking at the staff inquisitively. All right, just give it a pull.
Yeah. If you make me a strength check.
Oh boy, oh, this is gonna be bad, guys. Okay, hold on.
You'll probably roll higher than what I did.
Okay, do I roll a d20 for this?
Yes.
Okay.
As you go through and you try to pull the rod, it does not move an inch. It actually, you can see that it levitates from the ground as well. It is stuck in place.
Basically, this staff is just out of my hand and it's just floating right now, right?
It's yes.
It just freezes in
completely
space time.
stuck.
So whenever I gave it a command, it basically came out of my hand and started floating.
Not it came out of your hand, but whenever you were moving your hand and doing the incantation towards the bottle, and you said that second incantation, it just stopped dead in its tracks and yanked on it a little bit, and it didn't move. You took your hands off it and tried to actually get a better grip, like an underhanded grip and pull. And not only did the rod stay in place and levitate, but you cannot budge it.
Okay. So Braxton, he's gonna look over at the staff again. Move, ye bastard!
Are you
Motion
putting
kinda
your
towards
hand
it.
on it or holding it?
So I'm not quite touching the staff, but I'm putting my hand out towards the staff.
As you say that, the staff just falls to the ground. It doesn't float to your hand or anything, but it falls just directly down onto the ground.
Braxton's gonna go ahead and pick up the staff. I'll be honest with you guys, I'm not really sure what this thing is useful for, but maybe
We
I'll
agree on that.
maybe I'll keep it around and we could maybe have it looked at by the enchanter or something here. Someone who has a little bit more knowledge about it than I do.
You can definitely go see the enchanter if you'd like. I will tell you, though, that's actually where the staff comes from. That's where we got the staff through our, bartering.
It'll be pretty amusing, though, I'd say.
Did he tell you anything about where he got it from?
To be honest, I wasn't sticking around to find out or ask any sort of questions. I was out of there.
Okay.
However, I do remember something about it being one of his first finds, so it's probably something pretty special to him. I'm sure he might be able to tell you something more that I don't remember.
Well, I'll tell you what, maybe it might be useful for our little adventure here. Let's take a stop by the enchanter's house real quick before we leave.
Yeah, sure. Go on in. I'm definitely going to be sitting this one out, though. I don't think he's going to be wanting to see me anytime soon, to be honest with you.
So, who all is going with Braxton into the enchanter's shop?
I'll stay outside, waiting for the job to start.
Mina will go with him.
Okay. Braxton and Mino, you two head over to the enchanter shop. You walk up the stairs scaffolding and into the purple tower, where you can see that it's nice and it's 2 stories laden with scrolls, objects, component pieces, various wizardy gobbledygook. And you actually see a man hunched over the counter, kind of hands in his head with a hat in front of him. He doesn't acknowledge that you enter yet.
So Braxton, he's very. You can tell the look on his face. He's obviously very excited and very like inspired by all the books and the scrolls and everything like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and approach the enchanter and introduce myself. Hello there, enchanter. I'm Braxton Werthers, and I've come to inquire about the staff that my friend Nilo's got from here.
He lifts his head up, looks at you, and he realizes that he has to put on his customer service face again. So he goes and he takes the hat and he puts it under the desk and goes, "Well, hello there, Braxton. I heard you say it was. Did you say you have there? You said it was from a man Nilos?"
Yes, that's correct. He had this dwarvish staff, I believe, that he got from here and gave it to me as a gift, and I was hoping to find out a bit more about it. We had tried to use it, with the inscription that was based off the pommel, but I could not get much to happen other than the staff was levitating.
Oh, I guess he didn't tell you all the description about it. Interesting. He seemed to pretty much know what it did. I guess a learning experience for the new wielder of the staff. Okay, so how it goes, I found this one as I was hiking through the mountains towards the Dwarven Kingdom. Take the rod, and you hold it in any position, and you shout in Dwarven, "Halt, ye bastard." It will stay in that position until you let it loose. It takes an enormous amount of force to actually pull it. So he shouts the incantation, and you can see him actually start to do pull-ups on the rod. And then he holds the rod in his hand. "Move, you bastard." And then he goes through and he's able to twirl it in his hands and puts it back down on the table. And if you shout that incantation, it can now move freely in time and space.
Okay, I think I understand how the staff works. I feel like it probably has some pretty interesting uses that I can picture in my mind.
Oh yes, I think dwarves would actually use it to hold up the ceilings of their caves sometimes when they were mining, because you can use it, lay it lengthwise, and it offers as much weight as any rafter support you have.
Very nice. I really appreciate your help. What did you say your name was again?
My name is Kyle Cooper, here at the Syllabus Spellbind.
Thank you, Mr. Cooper. I really appreciate your time.
You're very welcome. I would say, if you enjoyed our service here today, there is a board that we have in the center of town. It's called the Yelp board. We post how shops do and town news and everything on there.
Perfect. I'll make sure to check that out.
Thank you very much. Any wares you would wish to purchase today?
I think I'm fully stocked up, but you'll definitely see me back here again. I can't tell you how much I love to read interesting books, and I'm always working on growing my spell book.
Perfect. I can't wait to have a loyal customer. You, Cal, anything you would like, as he now points to you as, what were you doing,
Just kind of standing there, just want to see what was going on.
Did you have any reaction to the rod staying in place or anything like that?
Mino's thoughts were basically just like, dang, I guess I could use that to work out, like on the go.
So Braxton notices Mina's kind of lack of emotion from the interaction. He just kind of, as they're walking outside the building, he just kind of pats him on the back and smiles and chuckles a little bit.
Well, I hope you two have a good day and a good adventure, whatever you're going on. So with that, is everybody ready to go on their first adventure?
Mm-hmm.
Aye, Captain.
So, as you gather up, you exit the town westward, the same way that you had seen the goblins come from, for those who actually fought them. You travel westward along a nice stone path that is laden with trees once you get outside the center of the town. As you walk through, the forest starts to get a little bit denser and denser. You can only see about 60 feet out. You walk for about another 10 to 15 minutes until you see a dark set of clouds looming over this house that is perched up on a hill that is only about 60 feet away from the side of the road. Would anybody like to roll me a perception check?
I'll do it.
If anybody else wishes to look, they can as well.
That was a that was a bold thud.
What would that be after modifiers, Nilos?
That would be an 8.
Okay, 8, 14, 15, 11 and 11. Okay, so I will start with the lowest perceptions first, which would be the 8, 11, and 11.
Great.
You would actually see that the house is actually pretty dilapidated. The roof is almost completely caved in onto the third story. It looks like it used to be a nice and beautiful 3-story Victorian-looking house that sat over this hill, but it's definitely had its ages of decay. For Braxton and Bjor, the 14 and 15 roll, you would actually notice that the dark clouds and everything that has now made the whole street overcast kind of seems to be originating from directly above the house. And you can see in one of the windows the silhouette of a person, but they're not moving. They're just standing directly with their back to the window and their face facing inward to the house. You can't tell what they look like or what they're wearing because from this distance, they are just a silhouette.
Braxton he's like, "Hey, look, guys!" And you see him point over to the house. It looks like there might be someone or something in that window up there, and I think it's really interesting. If you guys look at those clouds a little bit closer, seems like they're focused mainly on this building. Perhaps that's magical in nature.
Well, you're the scholar here. Any ritual that seems similar to?
I can't say I know any weather magic right now, but definitely interested to see what's going on in that building.
Well, whatever it is, it's not nice.
Yeah, more than likely not, but that's our job. Let's go ahead and get in there.
And Braxton just kind of nods in approval.
You go through and you start to walk up towards the house. It is lined by an iron wrought fence that has started to crumble and decay. The gate is actually, it's more of a half gate, just at waist height. It's fallen open and you can see a good amount of rust. As you walk up to the house, you can get a closer view. As you start to walk up, it also starts to pour down rain as you pass through the threshold of the gate. You all actually walk into the house. Are you stopping right outside of it?
I want to make another perception check now that we got a closer view.
Okay.
And I do want to investigate the front of the building a little bit better.
Okay. In that case, Aaron, roll me investigation.
I rolled a 14.
Okay. Aaron, are you actually taking a walk around the house fully?
Not fully. Mostly just, I would say maybe 6 feet on both sides of the front door, just kind of seeing, from the front perspective and, where the windows are at on the first floor, just kind of seeing the general frontness of the house. See if there's like a gate around the side or if there's anything that's noticeable.
And I'm trying to get a little bit more information about the figure in the window specifically.
Ooh,
Okay.
Look at that.
At 20.
Yeah.
Nice.
If only I could just send you a straight picture of it, Aaron, I would. So, with the house, both of you would notice 3 stories with, on the first story, a door off to the left. The door is sunken in a little bit as well, like about 5 feet into the house. On the right side, you have 2 windows, and then on the next story, you have 3 windows, and on the third story, you can tell that there used to be another 3 windows. The house was painted a nice white that is decayed to a cream with paint peeling, and you can see the wood paneling that's on the side, and all kind of like the infrastructure that goes into the house is starting to show as it starts to decay. The roof would have been a nice gray little trapezoid leading up to another set of iron bars with 2 flags. The flags are so decayed you cannot tell what they used to be, and the roof has actually caved in towards the center of the house into that 3rd floor.
Wow, sounds like quite the place. Maybe a nice fixer-upper.
Specifically for you, looking at the middle window on the 2nd floor, you would see the dark figure that Braxton had saw before. Both of you are able to make out that this is, whatever it is, it's in a suit of heavy armor that is looking out towards the house, but standing still.
Yikes, that sounds like it might be an issue.
I don't know if I need to make any type of if this would be like a spell situation or anything like that, but am I able to do anything like Arcana knowledge or something like that to see if I can sense or tell if there's some type of spell or defense ward on the front door or anything like that?
You can make an Arcana check towards the front door to see if you sense anything magical, or if you can potentially tell if there might be any traps or anything like that. Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna do that. So, yeah, I'm gonna do that. God damn it.
So, with an Arcana check of 8, Braxton, you walk up to the door and you lay your hands on it very gently, making sure you're not putting pressure to seem like you open it, and you're making sure that you're not turning the knobs or anything like that. The door doesn't seem to have any sort of magical essence to it or anything like that, but while you were checking for the feeling of magical auras, this place does give you a really deep and dark feeling. You're not able to pinpoint it yet, though, but it's just a feeling you have in your gut that something not good is here.
Sounds like my kind of place.
That house ain't right.
I will.
My character, that's out of character. I'm sorry. My character just says to the group, he turns around and says, I think we're safe to go inside, but something definitely feels off here.
I walk ahead and I kick open the door.
Well, that's certainly one way to do it.
Make me a strength check.
Very well.
With
It
your
was a 15 total.
With your 15 in strength, you go through and you kick the door, and you can hear as the rusty old hinges completely give way to your boot. And same thing with the doorknob and the latch, as the door flies back into what you can see as a hallway.
You know, Bjorn, usually when you're in a situation like this, it's better to be a little bit more tactile in how we approach these situations.
I'm just getting a better view. I proceed inside.
Bjorn, next door's mine.
So, do you all start to walk in?
Yep.
Yeah,
I'm going in.
let's go ahead and walk in.
So as you go in, it's a wide hall that runs most of the width of the house. Hanging shields that are embroidered with a coat of arms, a stylized golden windmill on a red field, flanked by framed portraits of stony-faced aristocrats. A mahogany-framed double door lays right in front of you. It separates the hallway you're in from what you can assume to be the rest of the house.
Can I roll a history check to see if I know anything about the armor crest or anything like that?
Okay, yeah, roll me history.
Dude.
All right.
So,
dang it.
unfortunately, because of where you did your college education and where you happen to grow up, the old aristocrats of this area are not anything that you had learned. And so these faces look very unfamiliar to you. You've never seen these people or their crest or symbols before.
Well, I'd like to go up to this next door and just jiggle the knob, see if it's locked. If so, I can use my thieves' tools to pick the lock. If we need to get in this time, maybe we can be a little more quiet.
You really won't need to tell if the door is locked. You turn the handle, and the handle moves freely.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and just creak it open just little bit by little bit and see if what I can see inside.
We need some scaring music. We need some scaring music right now.
You creak open the door. And as you peek through, you are greeted with a wide hall that actually has wallpaper up on the top half of the wall, and on the lower half of the wall it is wooden trim that lines the side. The wooden trim is a nice red stained what you can presume to be oak that adorns the side of this. Judging by how far you peek it out, you can also see the start of you can also see a stone fireplace, and above it hangs a picture of a very staunch and not pleased looking aristocratic family.
My favorite.
I want to make an investigation check on the portrait.
Right now, Nilos is the only one well, I mean,
Oh,
you could be
sorry.
looking through
When
the
we get
creek
in there.
on the door. Yeah.
When we get, I'll hold on that. Sorry about that. Yeah.
Well, I mean, we could do like a 80s, 90s sort of thing, stacked up at the door, all peeking in at the same time if you want.
Okay.
So are you're walking into the room?
No, I'm definitely not going into the room just yet. I'm just peeking through as far as we've opened the door.
Braxton approaches Nilos, just kind of, you can tell he's like a kid in the candy store. He's kind of excited, inquisitively looks inside, and I'm gonna roll my investigation check.
I'm going to go ahead and help him out by rolling investigation as well.
We're both gonna roll it, right?
Yeah, you can both roll it.
Yeah.
Ah, another 3. Looks like it's going to be one of those kind of nights, huh?
I think you need to put it in dice jail.
Yep, that's exactly where it's going.
So, how much would that be in total, Nylos?
That would be a 7.
So, Nylos, you're a little bit more caught up in your backstory of dealing with families like this and this staunch aristocrats. It clouds your judgment a little bit as you're looking through and examining the painting. Both of you would notice that the portrait is of an aristocratic mother and father with their 2 little children. One of those being a skinnier and older female child, and the smaller one being being about half the size of the female, holding a stuffed animal. None of them are smiling. They don't look happy, but you see as the father has his hand firmly placed on his son's shoulder, and the mother has her hand placed on her daughter's shoulder as they look straight through towards to the rest of the house.
And what does the father look like? Can you describe his details to me?
The father is actually a man who has a very clean beard, not unshaven, and it's very cut down and trimmed to his pointier face. Has slick-backed dark hair that seems very well kempt, and they are all in dark purple suits with red accents. You see as the daughter as well as the father have a red cloak that has a very big collar and a gold chain that actually connects both ends of the cloak.
Okay, I'm actually going to go ahead and shift my face to match the man in the painting.
Okay, you do so.
Braxton kind of quietly whispers to Nylos, "You've got to show me how to do that one day."
I'll walk up behind them and push the door open and walk through.
Oh my god.
What vantage point is there to be gained by hiding behind a door?
All right, guess we're doing this again.
You push the door open and you are greeted with the wide hall as well. You can see a little bit better the nice marble fireplace that has the portrait above it. And as you look, you can see the wallpaper that has various flowers and vines with a dark green to its background. You see a red marble staircase that leads up into the second room in a little half circle.
Any gaps in the ceiling?
No gaps in the ceiling. The ceiling on the first floor actually looks very sturdy, well kept, and looks like it has supported the house for a pretty long time.
Any extra rooms connected to this hallway?
There is, yes.
I want to.
As you are opening into the main foyer, you see one door that leads off. It's a stark oak single door. That one is directly in front of you. To your right, you see a small 5-foot hallway that has one door to the north and one door to the east.
Going back to the portrait, I want to kind of like try to move it and see if I can look behind it.
Okay, you go through it, and are you moving it to the left, to the right, picking it up a little bit to look under it?
I want to look under it, kind of slightly lifting it very carefully.
You look under it and you lift it very carefully. You can see a slight discoloration from the walls and the painting, but as you look behind it, you don't notice anything out of the ordinary. It looks like a normal painting so far.
Can I roll an investigation check just to double check?
You can. Yes. Okay. With a 22, you would definitely you would see that the backing on the painting is starting to maybe warp a little bit, but nothing that is unusual for what looks like the age of the house or the age of the furniture in said house.
Okay. Braxton just kind of carefully lays it back down and continues on, following the group.
I'll go for the stairs.
I don't know if that's a good idea, Bjor. We don't really know what's going on here yet, and could be faced with something dangerous if we're not prepared.
Well, the sooner we set parameters, the sooner we'll know what we're dealing with.
You guys are crazy if you think I'm gonna go by myself. I don't got big strong arms like you, Bjor.
That's fine. Come with me then.
Braxton follows Bjor. He's a little scared.
So
anybody else gonna go for the doors?
Yeah, I'll go too.
As much as I'd like to, It's not the best idea to split up, so I guess I'm going with you.
So let me give y'all a better idea of the map so I can make sure I have the directions and all the descriptions right for y'all. So we have Minos sitting there and exploring the first floor. We have Bjor, who is going to be taking the stairs up to the second floor. Bjor and Mino, I want you two to roll for initiative since you are group leaders, and that way we can figure out what order we should go in.
You know what? Actually, I'm gonna stick with Mino. Like, I feel like Braxton would feel bad about Mino going by himself, and also too, in like a slightly judgy way, he probably would look at Mino as a little bit less intelligent, and he might need some help.
Plus, I
So-
know you're definitely intrigued in the house, and you can go through and investigate all the rooms you want to, Braxton.
You know what,
There's
guys?
still
I'm
still some
actually,
time to find.
I know he's not very talkative, but I'm gonna go make sure Mino's safe. I'm gonna follow him.
I think that would be good.
Oh, was that just a 1d20?
It's
Yes.
plus your. It's
It's a
1d20
roll a
plus
The
your dex, right?
modifier?
Yeah.
Yes, Dex modifier, which should also be if you're looking at a normal character sheet. It should be a box that says initiative.
Oh, okay, I see it.
Yeah, you're gonna get this one for sure. I have a
Bjor,
plus
if you would like-
0. Oh, close.
Oh,
Close. Close. But he
Dang.
got it.
So in that case, Mino and Braxton, you would go first. What rooms would you like to explore? There's one room that's down below you to the south. There's one room that's off to the right, and there's one room that is right in front of you.
So Braxton's gonna whisper quietly to Mino. He's gonna point at the door north of him. Why don't we check out this room first, Mino?
Mino grunted in agreement.
So you decide to go through. Are you going to open the door, break down the door, slowly creak it open?
I'm just gonna smash it open.
So roll me a strength check.
That sounded really worried.
Is that the skill one for an athletics or just the strength modifier?
Uh,
No,
just strength. Unless you like specifically try to aim towards the hinges and take it down, but you really don't have to. This place is old.
Dilapidated.
So with a 16 in strength, are you kicking? Are you ramming with your head? Are you...
I just went to go basically push it with my strength.
So you push it and you just keep walking with your hands in front. You keep walking. Eventually, you walk right to the kitchen and the door falls kind of in front of you on one of the chairs, breaking it.
Dining room? Question mark or kitchen?
Dining room actually is what you go into, as you would see the centerpiece of the wood paneled dining room is a carved mahogany table that is surrounded by 8 high back chairs, 7 now since the door fell on one of them, with sculpted armrest and cushioned seats. A crystal chandelier hangs above the table, which is covered in silverware and crystalware wine glasses.
Can I roll an
Mounted
investigation check of the room?
Yeah, go ahead. One thing you would notice too is the wall paneling, which is carved with elegant images of deer among trees. 17. So on top of fireplace also has a mahogany framed painting, the same one as what was in the entrance room. You do also see, as you look closer into the carving of the walls, you can actually see twisted faces that are inside the tree trunks and wolves that are lurking amidst the carved foliage that makes the backdrop. They're definitely blending in. You wouldn't be able to tell unless you were directly looking at it.
What's the lighting situation for this room?
It's dimly lit from the chandelier. You can see that it has flames that are very faintly and barely flickering.
I'm not sure what else to do in this room, to be honest.
Could always see if you could find the kitchen. Really, in this room, though, I don't think there's too much to do.
We found the dining room, It means there must be a kitchen somewhere nearby. Why don't we investigate a little bit further?
Sure. Can I just go around just randomly hitting a wall?
Yeah, you can. Are you hitting it so hard that you put a hole through it?
Possibly.
Roll me a strength check. This will work for all the times you want to hit the wall, and then tell me how many times you want to hit the wall, and we'll see what happens.
All right.
Wow.
So
Well.
as you go to punch the wall, you actually turn and you got a full body swing into this, and then you realize as you're looking, you're punching directly into the marble fireplace. It doesn't hurt your hand, but your hand definitely stops, and it doesn't go very far. The marble does look cracked, however.
Mino, what the heck are you doing?
Suspicious marble.
Mino, just stop. We need to go to the. We need to move on, man. You're just gonna. This thing's gonna fall apart.
Fair enough.
Braxton's gonna kind of rush him on a little bit to move on to the door on the right side of the room, and we're gonna open up that door and then look to our left and see that there's another door and try and go through that door.
Okay, are you going to try and open it like normal? Is Mino
Yeah.
going to walk through this one again? Okay.
Just open this door like normal. We're not particularly alarmed right now.
So as you walk in, you would see actually a pretty tidy kitchen with dishware, cookware, utensils that have all been neatly placed in shelves, a work table that has a cutting board, some rolling pins, a little mortar and pestle, dome-shaped oven that actually stands near the east wall, which is just over there on the right, as well as some iron stovepipes that connect to the ceiling. You also see an entry to a dumbwaiter as well, which is all the way off on the bottom right.
I want to roll an investigation check just to see if I notice anything that seems out of place in the room. But
Okay.
also, too, I want to search the room for extra rations or some type of salvageable food or equipment,
Okay.
even if it's cookware.
Yeah. Roll me the investigation check. Ooh, nice with the 19. So one thing you do notice is you notice the dumbwaiter as you kind of like are looking through it. There's nothing in the dumbwaiter, but you do notice that it's about 2 foot wide, little stone room that could fit a medium-sized creature. If they really squeezed into it, even a small creature could get in there. It's operated by a rope pulley and has a bell that's actually hanging next to it. You do also look into the pantry, which is right above you past the stone oven. And as you go into the pantry, you do find some dried and aged beef. You also find some stuff in mason jars that has some dust on it. Looks like some peaches and apples in mason jars. You could get up to 2 rations for it, 2 days worth of rations from the pantry.
Do I need to worry about the safety of this food?
You would have to eat it or have some cooking knowledge to check it.
I'm just gonna leave it there for now. I think there was another room on the other side of the hallway. I'm gonna go ahead and leave the room and approach the other room across the hallway and open this one casually as well.
Okay, as you open it casually, you would see an oak-paneled room that looks very much like a hunting den. Mounted above the fireplace is the stag's head, and positioned around the outskirts of the room are 3 stuffed wolves. They also don't look like normal-sized wolves. They look closer to the size of dire wolves. There are 2 padded chairs that are draped in animal fur, as well as an oak table, between them supporting a cask of wine, 2 carved wooden goblets.
So, a little background on Braxton. His father is actually a famous taxidermist. So, I feel like he would probably have some predisposed knowledge about taxidermy. Like, he would know where to find like a maker's mark or something like that on the animal itself. So, I want to go ahead and investigate the room first, but then I also want to take a deeper look at the taxidermy in the room.
Okay, one thing you do also notice is 2 cabinets off to your left, and those ones actually look like they are unlocked. With the taxidermy, as you go through and investigate it, these things are impeccably preserved. Like you can't really see the stitching under the fur. It's very well hidden. One of them is done with a pointing pose, and then the other one actually looked like it's kind of kneeling down and stretching downward. But these actually look like perfect examples of taxidermy with no flaws or anything like that in them. These things were immaculately done with a lot of time and effort.
So Braxton kind of puts his hands along the fur and he just kind of motions over to Mino a little bit and just says, "Whoever crafted these was very skilled."
Could these wolves be related to the ones from the drawing?
Perhaps. Definitely seems to be a recurring theme in this home. Why don't you go check what's in those cabinets over there?
Yeah, sure.
Mino, you go to try and check the cabinets, you would notice that the cabinet over on your left is actually locked as you kind of try to jerk it open. The one up top that is actually between the 2 wolves, as you open that, there's actually a box containing a collection of playing cards with very weird, dark, and gothic pictures on them depicting like the different suits and the different numbers and royalty on there, as well as an assortment of hand-carved wooden wine glasses.
This is really cool.
Hmm.
Braxton says. I want to pick up the playing cards and inspect them more.
Okay. You pick up the playing cards. You see that the suits actually have different coats of arms on them, with the Hearts coat of arms actually being the one of the families. And you see for the royalty on there, multiple different figureheads on the cards. The King of Hearts is the father that you saw in the picture. The Queen of Hearts is of course his wife. And then you have the Jack being his son. And the Joker of the cards actually is the daughter in a nice stylized black and white gothic picture.
Can I roll an Arcana check on them just to make sure there's no magic tied to them?
Yes, you can.
Okay. I want to make sure they're safe to handle.
With the 15, you actually don't seem to notice any magic coming from them.
Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and pocket the playing cards and take them with me.
Okay. As you do, we are going to move over to Bjor. As you walk up the stairs, you see unlit oil lamps mounted on the wall. Hanging above the mantelpiece is a wooden framed portrait of the family, the same one that is in the entranceway. You also see 4 standing suits of armor. Each suit clutches a spear and has a visor helm shaped like a wolf's head. You also see the red marble staircase that extends up one more floor. You have 2 doors to the north of you, and you have 2 doors to the south.
Turn to Nilos and ask, do you know anything of magic?
I do know a thing or two. Well, let me go ahead and just check one of these out. I'm just going to lift up the visor a little bit and just see if I can detect anything underneath.
So, which one are you going to lift up? The one that was behind the window that we had seen that was pointed out whenever you had walked up to the house, or one of the other 3?
I'm going to go for the one that we saw in the window.
Slowly lift up its visor. You see a set of red eyes as they glow bigger and bigger from the suit of armor, and out flies a bat, and it squeaks, and it flies around the roof before going out through the stairwell into the next floor.
Whew, that was a close one. Yikes.
What's the state of the roof?
The roof, actually, you can see it start to bow inward as it definitely looks like it's supporting more than it probably was meant to in certain areas. It could have held up, the 3rd floor if the 3rd floor wasn't collapsing. So it's bowing down a little bit, but it
In the middle of the
doesn't look
room?
like yes, in the middle of the room. But it doesn't look like it's going to break anytime soon, unless it's acted on by another force.
Before we proceed any further, let's check this floor. I'll go north.
All right, sounds good. I'll be coming with you.
So
And I just open the doors like a normal person this time.
as you open the doors, like a normal person, you would actually see a library, red velvet drapes covering the windows of the room, and
be in that room.
exquisite mahogany desk and a matching high back chair facing the entrance. You have a picture frame that this time hangs a windmill perched upon a rocky outcrop, facing the sea. Situated in corners of the room are 2 overstuffed chairs. Floor-to-ceiling bookshelves line the south wall, and a rolling wooden ladder allows one to move easily to reach the high shelves.
Oh boy, is Braxton going to be regretting taking the downstairs route first.
Is that a corridor in this room?
There is. So if you look, the bookshelves actually extend up, then turn right, then extend up into a small little book corridor where you have a kind of outlying bookshelf.
Can I roll a perception check to see if any of the books look disturbed?
Yes, actually, you can. So, with an 11, you do not see any books that look like they would be abnormally disturbed. Nilos, do you wish to make a perception roll as well?
Yeah, actually, I do. Actually, let's make it an investigation check, because I'm actually going to be looking for any books that are maybe sticking out a little bit further than the other books, or possibly recessed in. Also looking for any books that look like they have less dust than the other books on them. Alright, so that's a 16.
Okay, so with the 16, you would actually notice a red-covered book that is actually, well, you look at all the other books and see that they are the same height and stick out the same amount from the bookshelf. This one is recessed in a little bit.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and try to pull the book out.
Okay, so you pull out the book. As you open it, you actually see as one of the bookshelves starts to recess back a little bit in a creaking and grinding noise, and then it opens up to the north inward as you see a little writing room. It has a small little wooden desk with a couple more bookshelves lining the left and right, and a candle that is lightly flickering on this writing desk with a note that lies flat on it.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and move to the note and pick it up and see what's on it.
As you try and read the note, I would like you to make me a dexterity check.
Oh, no. Okay. Okay, so that's an 18.
So with that, you would actually just notice as your foot starts to hit a pressure plate and you see the letter poof into flames. And luckily you were able to back off enough to where your face was not engulfed in these flames.
Well, that's something at least.
But the note is gone, unfortunately.
No.
I'm sorry, Braxton. Well, since that's gone, I'm gonna check the drawers on the table.
As you open up the drawers, you see in there 3 spell scrolls, as well as you see the a note that says the deed to the house, as well as the deed to a windmill, which you have never heard before, and a will that is signed as well.
Ooh, shinies. Okay. So first things first, I'm gonna go ahead and pocket those scrolls as well as the deeds, but I want to read the will right now and see what's on that.
Okay, you read through the will, and you would see that the will is made actually by Gustav and Elizabeth Durst, and it reaches the house, the windmill, and all the family-owned property and land to their firstborn son Thornbold and their firstborn daughter Rosalinda.
Okay, interesting enough. What would I have to do to try to see what's on these spell scrolls?
So make an Arcana check.
All right, you got it. Okay. I only got a 10.
10. So you can tell what these scrolls are. You can't really tell how to use them, how you would be like even begin to transpose these into anything else. But that's what the wizard is for. As you look on the names of spell scrolls, you can see one of them is a spell scroll of bless. The other one is a scroll of protect from poison, and the other one is a scroll of spiritual weapon.
Huh, okay. Those sound like they could be pretty useful to Braxton. I'm gonna go ahead and take these for him if that's cool with you.
Fine by me. I'm more worried about the threat we were supposedly sent here to dispose of. It has to know we're here, but it hasn't revealed itself yet.
You do have a good point there, so we should probably be on our way pretty soon.
Let's clear out this floor first.
Yeah, let's go ahead and go to the room across the hall now.
Alrighty. Yeah, we approach the opposite room.
Okay, walking through, you actually find a conservatory, drapes covering the windows that actually face out to the right side of the house, and you would see hanging from the ceiling very nice crystal chandelier that still has barely lit candles, making the room kind of dim, but still enough where you can see. Upholstered chairs line the walls. Stained glass decorations actually hang from the chandelier, as you would see a harpsichord with a bench rest in the northwest corner. There's also a fireplace in this room as well. Doesn't really actually have anything notable on it this time.
All right, sounds good. Well, I'm going to go ahead and just give it a good roll for perception just to make sure there's nothing left in this room that we haven't seen yet.
I'll roll as well.
Okay.
Nice. 24.
And I got an 11.
So, unfortunately, Nilos, you wouldn't really notice anything, but Bior would happen to notice that there actually seem to be some really well-dressed and fancy dolls that sit up on top of the fireplace. And as he walks closer to examine them, the dolls actually start to shift from being person faces into being skeletal figures, and there's no actual skin under their clothes or on their faces.
Yeah, not creepy at all.
Well, I preemptively ready my weapon.
Yeah, probably a good idea.
You know what? I'm gonna pick up one of the dolls.
You pick up one of the dolls, and it seems to be a fully articulated doll, meaning you can bend all of its joints just as if it was human, but it doesn't seem to move past what you do to it.
I say go ahead and smash it.
I just drop it to the ground.
Drop it to the ground, and it lays there lifeless like a corpse.
Not quite as interesting as I thought it would be, but okay, at least we're still here.
There's only one floor left. We should get to it.
We definitely need to make our way, up the stairs for sure, but there is one room left. I'd hate to move on without fully exploring it, so I think we should just duck in there real quick.
So, as you walk through, poke into that room, but actually find that this used to be a servant's room. Unkept beds that have just straw-stuffed mattresses on them, with a footlocker at each, as well as some servant uniforms hanging up on the back wall, and a dumbwaiter actually in the far right corner.
Alright, well first things first, I'm checking those footlockers. See if they're locked, if I can open them, see what's in there.
The footlockers are not locked, and as you open them up, you can actually find that they only have dust in them.
Oh, okay. Well, about those servant uniforms, that might come in handy for certain trickster activities, I guess. So what kind of sizing are we looking at with those?
So they are a medium to large in terms of like clothing sizes. There is one set of a masculine butler's uniform, and then there's another set of a female maid uniform, complete with wolf ears and tail.
Okay, makes sense. Of course, why not? Well, I'm gonna go ahead and actually take the maid outfit, as I think it may come in handy later.
I just stare at him auspiciously.
You see, this is a secret tool we'll use for later. It is at this point that
You're not supposed to tell us that, Jeremiah.
I think he was quoting a meme, right? The Mickey Mouse Clubhouse one?
Yeah, the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse.
Yeah.
Special tool we'll use for later.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
So, Bjor and Braxton, Mino, and Nylos, you all meet up actually at the stairwell as you are moving up to the 3rd floor.
Nothing, I assume.
Hey guys, actually I found this really cool deck of playing cards. Takes out the cards and starts showing the guys some of the cards and like, look, it looks like the family on here. It's a really strange deck of cards, but I thought it'd be really cool, so I decided to take it with me.
Nice. Yeah, those look pretty nifty. Well, you're gonna like this, but we actually found a library up here. Yup, and I got some spell scrolls for you too, buddy.
Oh my gosh. Did you find any extra parchment or anything like that in the library?
I didn't search too well, seeing as how the one piece of parchment that I did find may or may not be non-existent anymore.
I'm definitely having to come back to that room.
Yep, sounds good. Okay, let's all go ahead and quiet down as we approach the 3rd floor, just in case.
So, as you walk up, you see the debris of a caved-in upper floor. The attic has come crashing down, and you can see exactly where the floor starts to bow. You can tell that there used to be rooms in here. However, because of the collapse, a lot of them are blocked off. You see the intermingling between storage rooms up in the attic, beds and such have collapsed inward. A lot of the walls are decayed. But one thing you do all notice is that there's a long spiraling stairwell down towards the left side of the house, which you honestly have not seen before in your investigation of the other 2 floors.
So then all the doorways that we can see right now on the map are going to be blocked off by this cave-in, just to confirm?
Yes, because of the rubble and debris from the attic caving in. And the stairwell is only wide enough for one creature at a time.
It's all you. We'll follow you.
Yeah, approach it, weapon already drawn. Watch your step.
And are all of you going down the stairwell?
Yeah, I think it would be a good idea. Definitely got to see where this leads.
Yeah, I'll ready my weapon as well and follow behind.
I'll go ahead and
Okay.
preemptively ready my staff as well.